Hey everybody, my next guest is a very funny guy who could be regularly seen right here at Governor's Comedy Clubs and all over the New York area and abroad. In fact, he recently took the crown at the DC Comedy Festival last month and is a rising star in the stand-up scene for sure. Here he is, folks, the one and only Ivory Fields. Ivory, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How are you feeling? How's everything?
Dude, man, you've been out there killing it, bro. You've been killing it, man.
I've been trying, man. Just trying to create some opportunities for myself and shine every time I get a chance, you know?
Dude, I know you've kind of been on the scene for a while, but for me, it feels like you just like came out of nowhere and just been kicking some ass, man. Like, was your stomping grounds always on the island? Because you're a Queens guy, right?
Yeah, no, initially, when I first started performing, my first show ever was on Long Island at a club called Taboo out in Hempstead.
Oh,
I used to
yeah.
bartend there, and one day I seen it was Drew Frazier and A.G. White, and I was like, "Hey man, can I come do some jokes?" It was like, "Hell no, get your ass behind the bar." but after begging them, and then I showed them, like I actually took my time and wrote a little set, and they was, "Oh, you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, I really want to try." And I went up there. My first time ever performing was really, really good. Second time performing, damn near got booed off stage.
Dude, that's always seems to happen, man. Even I did comedy briefly too. My first time ever, I killed, and then after that, I was always trying to chase that kill. And I, for me, I think this is what separates real comics from guys who dabble in comedy. Is for me, I couldn't survive past the bombings. It got to
Oh
me,
yeah,
and
oh
then
yeah,
it messed up my confidence and all of that, you know.
yeah. Absolutely. I've been there a few times. Actually, I first started doing comedy. It was October 2007 when the first time I performed at Taboo. I performed again. I believe it was the Friday after Thanksgiving when the club was extremely crowded, so I could make sure I bomb in front of everybody. Not the regulars. The regulars, they're friends from out of town.
Right,
It was bad.
right.
And after that, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do this, but I knew I really wanted to. And then in April of 2008, I wound up going to Gotham Comedy Club. I took a class with Jim Mendrinos.
I love Jim,
And
man. Great
yeah, Jim's a
dude.
good dude, very good dude, very funny
Yeah,
guy.
he's well versed in the comedy. I mean, he's been around forever and a great dude.
Yeah, seen
That's
he was
cool.
at McGuire's a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah, he was just here. Yeah, so that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool. I feel like he's coming back for something. Oh, he's going to be at the MMM Comedy Festival that's actually happening this weekend as well in New Jersey. So that's
Oh,
where
okay.
I guess seeing his name, I'm editing a promo for that commercial.
Oh, cool. Nice, nice.
But dude, so you started, okay, so you were the bartender at Taboo.
Hmm.
You're seeing comedy nights come and go, and you're saying to yourself, I could do this, man. I know I got it in me to do this. And you started getting the itch, and then you put a set
Yeah,
together.
yeah. I've always wanted to do comedy. I've been a fan of comedy since. Oh man, I used to watch when I was little. I used to watch like the first Andrew Dice Clay, the first Comic Relief.
Oh yeah.
Watching Whoopi Goldberg and her one woman tour or whatever it was when she did all the different
When
characters
she
and
had the
stuff.
blanket overhead, I feel so
Yeah,
my
yeah,
long, luxurious
yeah. My
blonde
blonde
hair.
hair.
This is my long, luxurious blonde hair.
And this is the number to get tickets, 239-6200 for Whoopi Goldberg at the Lyceum Theater.
That's the first when it comes to like gender shit, right?
Yeah. She was way ahead of the curve.
She was way ahead of that shit.
Tackling everything, man.
Yeah, but yeah, I've always wanted to do comedy. I was always told I was pretty funny. Always had humor inside of me. That's kind of how I dealt with things. And I was always kind of good with breaking the ice. And you know, I grew up in a black neighborhood public school, and if you don't know how to have some jokes and be able to take some humor, you're going to get destroyed because them lunchroom battles was ugly, brother. They were ugly.
Dude,
That's why you got food stamps. You're like, oh, that's why your mama smokes crack. And I know because my cousin sold it to her.
Yeah, dude. I came up in Brentwood, man, and so I know about the mama jokes and how you have to have a thick skin and also know how to have to and give it back too. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely is good. It's a good way to come up because it toughens you up and also it makes you sharp. Boom, like you're fast.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And you also got the size. You're a big man, so like you're intimidating. So people aren't gonna mess with you for a number of reasons.
Yeah, but the thing was, I was short growing up. Like in 8th grade, I was like 5'2" or 5'3" or something like that, and the girls used to tease me. It was like, you can't get my number. You ain't tall enough to call me. I was like, oh, hurt my heart. Yeah, see me next year, bitch. I was 5'10" next year.
So you had a massive growth spurt. You just went whoop, like over the summer. You were one of those kids that came back to school and nobody knew who you were right away.
Exactly. I came back to school. I went from playing like the point guard to playing like in the paint. Now I'm playing like the power forward position. I was all goofy and I couldn't, like, I was still getting used to my body. I was easily could fall over and I was like this skinny. I was a mess. But it was cool though.
When you first started doing this at Taboo and then, and then all that, did you ever think was like your trajectory? Did you want to like become a governor's regular comic here at the, and start to go to the, kind of the trajectory of your career path is going in now? Did you foresee this or did this all kind of just happen?
Well, the governor's aspect of my career, that was kind of planned. When I was initially starting, like I said, I would go to Gotham, took the course, doing the regular thing, going on Bad Slava, finding open mics, doing that for a while. But the good thing of me bartending at Taboo, I was able to build some relationships with some seasoned comedians. So they would have rooms and they was, oh, of course, come on down. And they would not just give me time, but they would also take me to the side and kind of mentor me a little bit. Yeah. And one of my biggest mentors is a comedian by the name of Kenny Williams, who he's one of those guys where he's like a monster, but a lot of people may not, know of him or have heard of him. But once you see him, you're like, oh, okay.
When women are sober, the rejection comes in loud and clear. When she been drinking, you go, oh, cause she a little fucked up. But when she's sober, Dad, going to your soul.
A lot of the shows I did in the beginning, man, it was doing a lot of hood rooms, you know what I mean? As they would call it, I hate the term, the chitlin circuit. I hate that shit. They're not serving chitlins. Maybe some chicken wings. It could be the chicken wing circuit. Actually, kind of was a chicken wing circuit. They wouldn't pay you shit. But doing that and just grinding, and to be honest, I was just trying to become really good because I know I could be good. I just didn't understand exactly what I was doing. One of the biggest, I don't know if it's one of the slights, it was trying to be a compliment and trying to shit on me at the same time. After my second performance where I didn't do well, I had one of the club promoters came over to me. He was like, dude, my man, he said, you have everything. You got the presence, you got the tone, you got the command. He said, but once you learn how to be funny, you're going places. I was like, oh, that hurt. But at the same time, that I still felt good about that. At least I knew I can rely on performing. Even if my jokes wasn't landing, I could at least give some performance, give a little bit of physicality with it to be engaging, to be entertaining, because at the end of the day, that's what I want to be, is just the ultimate entertainer,
Right on. And half the battle, I think, for a lot of comics is likability. I think if you're unlikable on stage, you could have all the greatest jokes ever and you're going to fall flat. But if you're likable and people already like you from the second you hit the stage, then they're going to go along with the ride with you and they're going to enjoy it. And then once you, like you said, the jokes will come as long as you have everything else, because the stuff you have, likability and all that kind of stuff and demeanor, you can't teach that in a class. You could teach someone structure of a joke and where the funny is and where how to turn, you lead them this way and then go here and there's the joke.
Little misdirections.
Right. You could teach that, but you can't teach what you have, which is likability and and also just people are glued to you. You have like yeah, man, and you're the funny thing is too that you're so likable is that you are also, a big dude and intimidating at the same time.
That's the second time he said that. I'm gonna take your lunch money next time I see you, sucker. I'm gonna shake you up, leave you with your glasses like this. Damn, Ivory, stop!
Like, damn, man, Ivory got me, man. But I'm saying, I just think that's a good mix, man, and yeah, and then you obviously got the jokes going for you now, so you got the full package.
Yeah, that was a thing that the comedy was almost like watching them old kung fu movies when I first started. It was like my sensei Kenny Williams would tell me, says you will be the one and find you're funny when you find yourself. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what?
That is some deep shit.
Find myself. I'm right here.
That's like in a fortune cookie or something. That's a heavy,
yeah, exactly. But then he would tell me, he was like I would go over material and bits that I want to work on. He said, that's funny. He said, but what does that mean to you? And right. I didn't understand. I was able to make jokes and make people laugh with certain things, but nothing was necessarily coming from who I was, because I didn't know my voice yet. I didn't understand who I was. And the weirdest thing is that I developed that and learned that when I took my break from comedy, because I stopped doing comedy in 2012. Yeah, August of 2012. I took a break. And one day, damn, what year was this? We were engaged. We wasn't married yet. So this might have been like 2017, I believe. My wife got me tickets to go to Madison Square Garden to see the April Fool's Day comedy show. So as we watching the comedy show, there was an intermission. I go get some drinks. And as I'm online, I can't remember, there was something that was happening online. And I was kind of talking out loud to myself. And the people around me were dying. And I was like, I'm not even trying to make jokes. And they're laughing. And then it just, you know what I mean? It just clicked. Like, I don't know if you ever ride a skateboard?
Yeah.
I used to skate when I was little. You ever ollie and jump over things and jump downstairs?
Oh yeah, you were way more advanced than me on the skateboard. Yeah, but I know what you're talking about. I know you're talking about.
Say, once you learn how to ollie and you can jump, you're like, holy shit, I can do so much more tricks now to understand what I'm doing now. So when I got back into comedy, as you see, my comedy now comes straight from who I am, how I feel, what bothers me, what makes me happy, or things that I just observe and just think people are fucking stupid.
I feel like the Ollie reference is kind of similar to the glow. Like you ever see that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the Last Dragon, baby.
Man, I got the glow. Yeah,
and that's kind of how it is. If you think about the mission he was on, to find the master, right. He's like, you find the master when you find yourself. And he's like, oh
yeah, man.
And he came out the water and everything started glistening and shit. It's kind of how I felt first time I got some pussy.
All right, Leroy, who's the one and only master?
I am.
Oh, that's and that's awesome though. There is a heavy side to what you do in stand-up comedy. There is a side of it that what makes you better is to go in deep and into yourself and then, like you said, once you learn how to ollie, you all of a sudden everything starts to become clearer. Like, oh shit, all right, now I get it. Now I know what he's talking about.
Yep, exactly. And the funny thing is, he came over to watch the Knicks game with me last week, and we haven't seen each other in a while. And as he's sitting there, he just looks at me, he's just smiling. I'm like, what? He said, man, I'm so proud of you. He's like, I remember when you first started doing comedy and you used to bomb like shit. And he's like, but I knew you had it in you. And to see you doing the things now, and especially with the comedy festival in DC, he was just beaming. He's like, I feel like a proud dad right now. I was
Dude,
like, that's cool.
that's probably one of the best accolades you can get. A compliment from your peers or somebody you looked up to or whatever is bigger than anything you can get. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, my friend.
That's huge, man. And then you're you're at Governors now, you're performing all the time. Always.
And that was a whole thing about that. So how I got it, if you want me to tell you how I got into governors and how this whole thing changed. So like I said, when I was doing comedy before, I was doing a lot of like hood rooms or what have you. I did governors one time back in the days, but it was when they had one of those urban to suburban shows. You know what I mean? Right. When it's like Black Night, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's cool and all, but excuse me. One thing about me is I'm a big fan of comedy. I love the art. I love the art of it. You know what I'm saying? So as I was developing and learning, even as I started getting kind of good a little bit, I'm like, the jokes I'm doing, it's funny, but I'm not feeling it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it would only work in certain environments because I was doing like nightclub, hood comedy. You know what I mean? And I was I knew I was more than that. And I wanted to be a comedian that can perform anywhere, not just I have to have Black people or a certain group of people in the room in order for me to try to achieve my objective to, you know, make everyone laugh. And another person that gave me a good nugget when I was developing was she's the woman at Comic Strip. She still does the show. The little older lady.
I know who you're talking about because somebody just mentioned her.
Elaine. I believe Elaine mentioned her.
Yeah.
Is it Miss? It's not Misty. It's.
I know you're talking about because Les Deegan mentioned her too. She's a staple of the comic strip.
Yes.
Older woman. She teaches a lot. She's a teacher, the mentor, and also been a comedian for a long time.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out. There's I don't know if you know, her name is Gladys Simon. She's a New York City comedian and producer. A lot of comics all say Gladys gave me my start.
Yeah, she's a comedian for a long time, and she runs a Thursday room, a show there. It's an open mic, but it was more like a show. I remember I used to go, and I was traveling from Queens all the way out to Comic Strip, taking the trains and shit. But you know, that's how much I wanted, and that's how much I felt I was getting value out of what she was providing. And long story short, she pulled me to the side one time. I'm up there doing the regular, just silly shit. And doing dick jokes and holding the microphone, just doing dumb shit. Right. And she was like, she was like, Ivory, you're too intelligent to do this type of material. She was like, when you get off stage, I would like to feel as if I learned something about you. Like, who are you? And like, what's going on inside, you know? And that kind of had me like, wow, yeah. And had me reflecting a little bit. So I got better from that, but I wasn't fully able to really tap into that until, like I said, later on, once I found my voice. So with finding my voice, I can talk about being a parent of a child with autism and, you know, jump and dive and stuff like that.
Right.
To backtrack, to get back to the governor's thing. So I was on my hiatus. I wasn't performing. I knew when I was performing before, I wasn't enjoying myself. And I didn't want to feel I was in this box where I could only do these rooms. You know what I'm saying? So I started looking into governors. And of course, at the time, that was during the mandate, the vaccine mandate. And I wasn't getting the vaccine, so I knew I couldn't go to the city.
Right.
And governors is here; it's close to home. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a workshop there to kind of knock off some of this rust, and try to get the engine going and stuff like that. And my goal was to find a way to perform regularly in governors and start hitting more of the mainstream clubs. So that was my strategy. Then I took the class with Trusin.
Oh, nice.
Trusin's funny. I remember he did a class and he was helping one of the guys there with a joke. And I was like, oh man, you gonna help them with jokes? He's like, you're not gonna help me? He's like, all right, you don't need no damn help. He was just focused on what you're doing. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, Trusin's great. He's been around forever too, man. He's an OG, Long Island, one of the Long Island OGs.
Yeah. That's what I learned and stuff. So so I did that. I did the Long Island Laugh Off. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh yeah, I knew about that.
Yeah, 2 years ago. And
that might be the first time I've seen you, actually.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people now that people speak to me and shit, because before comics really wouldn't talk to me. And they tell me, it's like, oh man, you know, first time I seen you was at the Laugh Off. And I was like, oh, who is this guy? And I was like, okay. But I was so upset because I didn't place in the Laugh Off. I don't know if you've seen the final show or whatever. And I rocked that show. And it felt good. It was like, that was my first time on stage in 10 years. So for me to do that and get that felt so good.
Yeah.
And then they didn't even put me in the top 3. I was like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, that day I didn't I didn't watch the acts, but we had the green room show going on
Oh, okay, okay.
in the studio with me
Yeah,
and Tony Walker, and we had a lot of the comics were coming in and out, and we were interviewing them during that thing. I remember seeing you in the hallway walking around and all that stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man, but yeah, but sometimes sometimes you don't have to win the contest to win. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That
Yeah.
was one of the best things that happened to me. I was talking to Jay, Fat Jay, about this last week. We was heading back from this open mic that I host on Tuesdays at the Grizzly Pear.
Oh,
He was
nice.
just saying, he was like, dude, he was like, you won that shit. And I said, yeah. I said, but actually, I'm glad they didn't give me anything, because all I did was to create the beast that I have inside of me, where I'm never happy. I'm never satisfied. I feel no one likes me. I feel I always got to get better. I feel like my last set was shit, and I'm just going to get better. And I'm going to show you energy inside of me, you know? And yeah.
I think that kind of chip on the shoulder
Mm-hmm.
is a good thing. It's a double-edged sword, but I think it's a good thing because it's driving you, it's motivating you.
Mm-hmm.
And from what you just said, you want to be better. You're competing with yourself. You
Yeah.
want to be better than your last set. And your last set wasn't good enough. You always want to be better. And man, that's like a boxer. That's like an MMA fight. That's like you're gonna
Yeah.
be stronger and better every single time you get up on that stage because that's your motivation is to outdo your last thing. So you're gonna constantly boom, 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 boom,
Yep.
and that's the kind of drive that you can't let that fire go out. You got to keep that anger going, man.
Oh yeah, this fire isn't going anywhere, because this fire wasn't just forged with the contest. This fire has been forged from pain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And life, life things like a lot of people. I speak about how my wife has a son with autism. I say that's her son because that's her son, but that's
Right.
my boy. You know what I mean? Love him to death.
Right.
And he has severe autism. And sometimes kids with severe autism and hyperactivity, as they get older, they start becoming self-injurious. They start having behaviors where they may try to attack family and things like that.
Right.
Not because they want to, of course not, but because as their system is changing, going through puberty, and the chemicals is changing, the medications that they're taking isn't as effective, or they may need to be changed or what have you, right? So I say that to say, after the pandemic, everyone started getting back into the groove back in like 2021 or what have you, right? But the people that the pandemic hurt the most are kids with autism and kids with disabilities, because they wasn't able to go to school for that long period of time. And when you take away a routine from kids that have autism, that can put them in a place where they're not going to be happy. So it just coincided that once the lockdown kind of let up and people started getting back, that's when he turned 16. Hormones is going. He's starting now to kind of, realize what's down there. And from that point on, it got very painful. It all started New Year's Eve of 2021, and we had to I'd wind up taking him to like the emergency room and stuff, because his behaviors was getting so out of control. He was hurting, so we didn't know what to do. So we needed to go there to try to see if they can help us with some medication, something just to keep him in a good place. And then the other thing people don't realize is when you have kids with autism and this level of autism, there's only a handful of places you can take them. There's not a lot of hospitals that handle that.
Right.
So there's one in particular in Hillside, I think Cohen's Children's Hospital. So long story short, brother, we used to spend weekends in there, man. And the amount, I've never cried as much as I've cried going through that, because there's times when we had to spend weekends there. Then there was a time where he had to get admitted into the hospital. And that's the first time, especially like for his mom, whom has him up under her every day, all day. You understand?
Yeah.
And the same thing with me. We take care of everything. Like, there's not a lot of speech, but we understand what he's saying. So we're concerned because we don't know if you're going to understand or if you're going to be able to handle things. And brother, those times coming home after having to stay there in the ER and then leave them and come back was so painful, man. It built the bond between me and my wife. It built layers of understanding, of appreciation for me. And also in the ER, they used to have this picture on the wall, this saying. It says, you are stronger than you know, you have more patience than you're aware of, and something else. I can't remember the third thing. And I remember I was sitting there looking at it, and I was like, when I get back into comedy, which I'm about to, I'm going to try to destroy this shit, because the amount of pain that I'm feeling, and then seeing these other parents that are coming in, I want to be able to put a smile on their face. You know what I'm saying? Like when I would come home and my wife is breaking down like bubble snots crying, started like putting on some YouTube videos with some dancing and trying to just pick the mood up and get us both into a place of being okay. So with that said, this was going on for almost a good 6 months.
Wow.
And then eventually we was able to find a school, a residential school, because he was also having issues in school. He was harming staff. He was hurting himself. He was started like banging his head on things and, behaviors he would never do before.
Right.
And we was trying to, I'm getting like a little emotional talking about this right now, but we were trying to, we don't want, his name is Zach. We don't want Zach being somewhere else. We want to make sure we could take care of him, Right. So we hired extra people to come in, and it got to a point where they was telling us, like, look, you might want to consider a residential place, not for you, but for him. So long story short, he was able to get accepted into a place out in Yonkers. He's been there now for almost almost 3 years now. He's doing great. He's doing so much better.
Yeah.
Once he got there, and his medicines got a little adjusted, and he's in a setting where he can thrive a little bit more. So
right.
he's doing very well.
God bless, man.
So after that happened, that kind of opened up the opportunity, because before that, my life was, all right, let me go to work, make sure I'm home by a certain time, because I got to get him off the bus, keep him good. And mom comes home, then some other people come home. And then at the time of him having behaviors, is all right, we can sleep from like maybe 10 to 1, because something's going to happen between 2 and 3. You know what I mean? We got to get up 4 and just be prepared. And that's all we did. So when the door opened up for me to perform, like, I owe it to him to give my all. I gotta, if for me to even have the opportunity to be there and have the time to give to someone, I owe him everything. So I have to go out there and give my best. And besides that, the other painful, sorry if I brought everything down.
No, this is interesting stuff, man.
At the same time, my mom was going through dementia. So that was one of the reasons why I stopped doing comedy. I had to take care of a lot of things for her. Long story short, she wound up staying down in Virginia with my sister down there. And at the time, she only was given about 2 years or something like that, and she was young too. She developed dementia in her late 50s.
Oh wow.
So they were very shocked and wondered if there was some sort of brain trauma or some sort of head trauma that may have caused it, but I have no idea.
Right. Yeah.
So while going through the pandemic and going through everything where I can't leave, I couldn't see my mom for a while, for almost 2 years,
Yeah.
And when I finally did get to see her, she was just, a shell of whom she was. And that's when I would visit her, and she wouldn't know me at first, Right. I would just sit there and she'd be like, "What's up, Mom?" She was sitting there like, "Who's this motherfucker?" But then she did, all of a sudden she'll get the light goes in her eye, and then she's excited, and and then she sees me, and then we just vibing and stuff, because me and my mother are extremely close. Like my birthday is the day after hers, so we'd always celebrate together.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be like her birthday is October 21st. I'm the 22nd. So we used to go to. I still grew up in Flushing, Queens. We used to go to this bowling alley called Jib Lanes, and late at night they'll have like the disco bowl with the lights and the glow in the dark and all that stuff. So we would stay there till after midnight. After midnight, get a little thing for me because now it's my birthday, and then we just bowl the night away, which is pretty cool. But just to fast forward, fast forward, wasn't able to see her for a while. Finally was able to see her and stuff. She wasn't doing that well, but was able to visit and give her some love. And then, this was November of, was it 23? 22. Some of my dates might be off. Yeah, I think this was 22. The dates in regards to Zach, that was right after the pandemic, and then the year after. So I mean, like 19 to 20 or something. Right, so this is 21. This is the year after. And I remember I had planned to go see her in a few weeks. I was supposed to go do a show with Renee. Y'all know, if you know Renee, the guy with the long hair. I can't remember his last name. He does a lot of shows and a lot of mics out in Long Island.
Yeah, I
But
think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, I was supposed to do a show in his room. And I remember I woke up that morning and I'm working. I work from home now. I work remote. Um, and as I'm working, like I had this wave of sadness just come over me. And I was like, yo, I was like, fuck am I about to cry for? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going? I was like, oh shit. I was like, Mom, yo, as soon as I said that, my sister texted me and said, you may need to come see Mom right away because she's not doing well.
Wow.
I was like, damn, I felt it.
Wow.
I left that night. We left that night. I see my mom Friday, spent Friday with her, spent Saturday with her. And like I said, me and my mom got a strong bond, brother. It was almost like my mom was just waiting to see me. And when I seen her, there was nothing left. She was skin and bone and just laid up. I brought some of her old albums. My son had a record player. I brought the record player. I brought her old albums, old James Brown, old Isaac Hayes, all of that stuff, and played that and had some old pictures of her. And I could see her lighting up and looking at it and kind of feeling the energy with the music. And before I left, I just held her, hugged her, kissed her, loved her up, and was just like, Mom, it's cool, man. Like, it's all right. We good. You raised a great boy. You raised a great daughter. We're strong. We're good. You can relax if you need to. I don't know why that just came out. You know, it was one thing where I said, just relax. Next morning, we're heading back home. My sister called me. My mom passed away middle of the night.
Wow.
So, and she passed away right before Thanksgiving, and the week later, I was supposed to do my first headlining show with James Williams. He had booked me to headline one of his shows.
Wow.
And it was very, very, very painful, very heavy. Shout out to a couple of comedians that, you know, I posted it and they were the first people to hit me up to see if I was good. Allison Parisky, I got a lot of love for her because she just, for no reason, most people didn't say shit. You know what I mean? She's like, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? You know what I'm saying? And for someone like me, I'm real like whatever. I move and I'm cool, but that means so much to me. You know what I mean? That meant a lot. And Rob White, another comedian, he was
Great
one
guy.
where a very great guy, man. Like I love that dude, man. And I want to see that guy go as far as he possibly can.
He tattooed me. I got a Rob White.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure you show me the arm and not turn around like Diddy.
That's later. That's later.
Yeah, that's later. So let me just wrap this up. So with that being said, after I lost my mom, I did James' show, crushed it, killed it, talked about it, how I felt, the things I was going through. What's so funny is when I got off, there were about 3 other people there. There was a man there. He came up to me. He gave me $100 bill. He said, I didn't even want to fucking be here. He was like, I just left the hospital. My dad is passing away. He said, what you shared to me meant so much to me. Somebody else came in. They lost their mom from dementia. It's like we was like a group of people damn near crying after the comedy show, kind of hugging each other, but passing that love energy around to each other on some real thanks, kind of healing shit. You know what I'm saying? And that bro, that fueled me up even more. So like I say, I got so much fire in me because I got my Zach that I'm rocking for. I got my mom that's on stage with me, that's empowering me and giving me the ability to tap into everything I could tap into and have no fucks to give. Not that I don't care about anyone else, but I'm not hiding, I'm not hinging. I'm going to give everything I have at every opportunity I have to give it because I owe it to them.
Dude, that's an amazing, like very deep story, man. And God bless you, bro.
Thank you.
I know what it's like to go through heavy times. That tattoo I showed you was Rob White did. Was my brother who passed away 3 years ago because of the vaccine. That's why I'll never get vaxxed ever either. But I'll say this: what you did is beautiful, you know, because what you did was you turned tragedy and pain into light. You helped others, and I think it also helped you as cathartic to to take and you took the pain and you owned the pain and you controlled the pain and you made it into you know, comedy in a sense. And they say, you know, laughter The cliche is true. I say it a lot on here on the show. Laughter is the best medicine. It's a true statement.
100%.
Laughter heals. It
Mm-hmm.
brings you up. And for you to do that, not only find the inner strength to do that a week after your mom passed away, God bless her, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
and shows a lot of resilience on your side, but also I think you were sent there for a reason, because if there was that many people in the audience that you
Yeah.
affected and you
Yes.
touched them and you helped them on their journey to healing,
Mm-hmm.
dude, you were that's an incredible thing, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's why I said, you have these moments similar to, like, I tell my wife, with this comedy thing, you have these moments where I feel like you level up. Like you there's it's almost like, a video game. You know what I mean? Once you master these moves, now this is what you have, and you're always going to have that. And that day, the level up I got from that and the feeling I got from that was, it reminded me back to when I was sitting in the hospital looking at that sign and was like, I'm going to be great because I want this couple right here that's crying, that's coming in here. I want to give them something to feel good about. The same way when we came home from the hospital and I put on these videos of the LES twins. There's these two twin guys from France and they would dance, but that's what had her feel better. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I want to be that. I want to be those LES twins for people. I want to be someone that is going to be able to get someone out of a dark situation and make them feel better by just giving them some laughter. And part of the reason that's instilled inside of me is because my mom was a healer. My mom was deep into holistic medicine. She used to do oh gosh, she was she used to do colonics and stuff. You know what colonic is, right?
Yeah, when they clean you out. Yep.
Yeah, they get the poop right in the backside and flush you out good. Well, she had a little colonic thing set up in the house. From that, natural oils, the essential oils, the juicing, all that stuff.
Yeah.
She used to go, people that would be in really bad situations, having cancer, not doing well. She would go there, visit them in the hospital, visit them at home, do therapies and treatments on them to make them feel better. And some people she helped, not say my mom ain't never cured cancer or anything like that, but she's taken people who were dealing with cancer and was at a very vulnerable state, help build them back up, where at least now they can go through the treatment and do the things they need to do and not feel like they're about to die. So I got that healing, energy inside of me. So that's where it comes from, my friend.
There you go, bro. And you're doing, I see all the pictures of when you perform comedy. Everybody wants to meet you afterwards. Everyone's, like you have such a magnetic thing.
Thank you.
That, like I said earlier, you can't teach that stuff. So, and I think now hearing more of your story, it starts to be clearer why you're definitely, your mom's a healer, and I think you have that whole thing in you. And I think there's something to it with having a good soul and positive vibes. And I think the karma, I believe in all that stuff, laws of attraction and karma and all that. And I think you're definitely pulling the positive vibes in hard, and that with the fire you have inside you for Zach and for your mom and for everyone close to you. I think, man, I just know that you're gonna keep climbing this mountain, bro.
Absolutely. I have some things coming up that I can't speak about just yet. I have a few things that I'm hoping that's gonna come through, and no matter what it is, I'm gonna give my all and try to find every opportunity I can to shine as bright as possible. So I've had a lot of people like, oh, how come you don't do a lot more shows? And I said I do as many shows as people offer to me. Sometimes people they don't offer me these things. there was a time me and my wife, like, we was like last year, like, I used to get so mad because I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, I come up, I'm professional, I'm friendly, I'm on time, I do a good job when I'm there. I was like, how come no one like invites me back or puts me on these shows? And sometimes my wife would say, some people are so intimidated by you. Or they just don't, they want you to go somewhere else. They don't want you to shine in the area and stuff. And I was be like, damn, man, like, can I just get on stage with some of you guys? And thankfully now I'm getting more opportunities. Like I said, people talk to me a lot more now. Before that wasn't necessarily the case. Not sure why.
I feel like you like you said, you're leveling up, man. Like in the beginning, people don't you might not be familiar with you or know who you are, and then they start to get to know you. They start to see you on stage, they see you at the clubs, and you start to level up, and like you're doing all these big things now, and you got you were on television. I know you said you did some kind of
it's
television.
coming up.
Yeah.
American, the people that made American Horror Story they're venturing into a new realm with telling these sports stories. So it's called American Sports Story. Season 1 is featuring the Aaron Hernandez story. I'm going to be in episode 2. I got 2 lines now. First I had 1. I was like, yeah. And then I had to go to Soundtrack Studio and record another line. It's not me. It's me kind of voiceovering or what have you.
Right.
I pay I play a bouncer, so I guess got to utilize this big blackness for something. Not only did I get to play a bouncer, but I got to throw around this fucking white dude. It was like they were having like a fight in the club, so I had to get him. And so I'm just kind of, just going. He was like, "No, dude." He's like, "Fuck me up, bro. Throw me all over the place." And the director was like, "Yeah, fuck him up."
That's great, man. I did
that
some
was
of
so
the
fun.
Discovery. It wasn't the Discovery Channel, but it was like a Discovery something. It was part of the Discovery, and I was in a one of those kind of when they're telling the story, and I'm like just the guy. But they had you blurred out, so there's like certain rules that like a payment scale.
Yes.
So like if like you said, if you have more lines, you get paid more.
Yep.
If you're in focus, you get paid more. If you're slightly out of focus, you get paid less, right? So they made me do this whole freaking thing, and I'm like this pot smoking dude in the back, and they just had me blur out. Oh man, but
that's some bullshit.
And I had no lines. But you're there. It's a fun day. This was when I lived in North Carolina. I did a lot of acting and stuff like that. But no, but that's cool. And then you got the and when's that coming out? Just so everybody can check that out.
I believe that's coming out in September. The funny thing was we filmed it. As we're filming it, the PAs are talking. It was like, yeah, thankfully we got at least 6 episodes because the strike is coming. And I'm like, what strike? Dude, it was like 5 days after I filmed this shit. Like everything shut down. Like no more Hollywood's closed.
Yeah.
It's like Hollywood's closed.
Yeah.
For real. I'm like, oh man. So everything kind of got pushed back.
Right.
But I believe it's coming out in the fall. That's the last that I heard. I don't have a hard date just yet. Trust me, as soon as I know, I'm going to let everybody know. I'm so excited to have that. So I got like a good right on camera shot. Like, hey, you guys okay? And then I walk off.
Yeah, there you go, man. That's awesome, bro. And now you got the Jersey City Comedy Festival's coming up.
Yes.
What goes into the preparation for this? Are you gonna like tweak the current material, or do you write new stuff, or just take me through the process of getting ready for this comedy festival?
Sure. Well, my process is a lot different than some other people, I would assume. I write a lot. And sometimes I just put it this way: when I don't go into a show anymore prepared with a set where I'm like, all right, I got this jokes that I'm going to do. I'm boom, ba doom, boom, boom. I don't do that. What I do is I go in there, I kind of engage what the audience is, what it looks like, what it's feeling like. And then from that, I'll take a few things I think are good ideas. But then sometimes on the way to a place, I'll have a thought. Like I said to my wife, this is during the festival. I was like, I think this might be funny. She was like, okay. And I did it. And it was great. It was just a small little line to add to something. And it worked very well. And I kind of go into like that. So in terms of the Jersey, I have a few things in which I know I want to, I know what bits I want to do to show what sides of myself. Because just like we're doing an audition, like I did a club audition for Rodney's about 6 weeks ago. So with that, I wanted to show material, something that uniqueness of material, show the ability to do a little bit of crowd work, show the physicality. Sometimes I get real physical with it, and just show timing and try to display I can be whatever kind of comic is needed. You need a host, I can do some hosting. You need a feature, you need a closer, whatever it is. I just try to show a little bit of the versatility in that 4 minutes that I get, or 5 minutes. It's short, but you try to do as best as you can. And then that's really how I am right now. Like I have a few things that I know I want to do, a few new things that I think I may want to add to it. And when I get there, I'm going to just see what what I feel. Because when I used to perform before, I would go in with my set, and it was like, I'm doing my set, I'm doing my material, which I see a lot of comics do that now, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. But I feel like I have too much energy and too much going on. It's like when you see me at the club and at the show, people are like, why are you always like sweating and shit? Like always, because I'm on fire, brother. Like I got so much inside of me, just like I'm like a caged animal. Like if you see me right before I'm going to perform, like my wife says, like, you like I'm like, yeah, I'm like a boxer. That's how I go into my corner, I get myself going. I'm calm. I don't talk. I don't want no one near me really bothering me. Right, and I unleash everything I have when I grab that microphone. Right, and that's kind of just how I take it. I wouldn't suggest anybody to do it that way. I would suggest, especially comedians, if you're coming up comedian, have a set, have 5 minutes, have 3 more minutes in case those 5 ain't working, and just make it happen.
I think it's a cool way to do it, is to kind of feel out each audience, because you can read the room, and you also, if you see how the room is, like if they're laughing more at this material, other comics going up before you, whatever. Oh, you're like, oh, okay, this is this kind of crowd. They like this kind of stuff. So then you are more in control of it, rather than letting the set list control you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that was something I worked on. I was working on a lot from last year. I wasn't getting as many opportunities at Governors or on Long Island. So I started doing shows at Eastville with this comedy group that I did workshops with before, called Laughing Buddha. And when I started going there, I'm not bringing my list. I'm not writing what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do what I feel. And I was like, I got weak areas that I know I have, and I want to focus on that and try to sharpen them up a little bit from doing crowd work and just, little things.
Right.
And I've seen, and I've had moments during the last summer where I was like, oh, I just leveled up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm feeling more stronger doing it the way I'm doing it now. Because I didn't do like this before. I did a little bit differently. So this works for me now. Who knows? Maybe another 6 months from now, I may switch it up into something else that feels like it's fitting where I'm at that moment,
Yeah, man, you keep leveling up, and that's huge. What's the goals for this stage of the career? Do you like, is it like be the best stand-up comic and like a Netflix special or something along those lines, or is it acting and getting into the movies?
Well, I got big goals. Don, I want to be offered for someone to suck my dick for $20 million. That's what I want, man. That's I don't know what I got to do to get there. Yeah. I'm not going to get it done, but I just want to be that big of what I'm doing so great that they want to suck my dick or for something just to put me on.
They'll not only suck it, but they'll give you 20 mil.
Yeah, right. Like, what? And I could finish and I get money. Oh, shit.
I want that deal too.
But in all seriousness, my goals are to of course have the specials, the Netflix, the Jimmy Kimmel late night TV, one of those things, and then hopefully do some acting as well. Land a nice steady role on the show, whether it's a Netflix show, TV show, whatever it is. But just keep my feet in both realms. And then also I want to get into speaking at different engagements, especially speaking for parents with kids with autism, and trying to do more things for them and bring more awareness and more entertainment and more things for them to do. Because when you are a parent with a child with autism, sometimes you can't get out. You don't have the time. You can't do anything but make sure you're there to make sure your child is okay. It's very much full time. So I don't know what I can do, whether it's setting up like a Zoom thing for parents that can't get out and have a little comedy show for them, or even just getting more knowledgeable and speaking at different places to raise awareness, which is what my wife is doing. This is my interview, so I'm not going to get on to her stuff, but get your own interview. Nobody cares. You're helping the kids. But once my wife was a teacher, right? She was a regular school teacher, general education teacher. And then when Zach got diagnosed with autism, then she went back to school and she started getting her special education licenses. And not only just getting special education to teach, she started doing everything in the form of the world of special education, where now she has 2 masters.
Wow.
And she's going for a doctorate right now. and she's also setting up an advocacy agency to bring more light. And she's doing she has a speech. She's doing a little what's the term? I can hear outside the door now, probably like, it's called a such and such, dumbass. She's doing some speaking stuff at Malloy College next month, and I'm very excited for her, very happy for her. And it's the same avenue I want to go down, and just bringing awareness, enlightenment. She's doing it from the aspect of helping to train professionals how to care for the kids better, some techniques, strategies, and stuff like that. And I want to take it just from the aspect of entertaining the parents and or raising awareness to the people that don't know or don't know anything about it, you know, because I didn't know anything about autism until I met her.
Right. Now, I think you'd be like really strong, like motivational speaking and getting out there and bringing awareness to all of this stuff and how to handle it and how to deal with it. And I think it's important too for people who don't have autism in their lives to understand how to treat autistic people, their neighbors, their friends, their coworkers. Because my nephew Devin, he's autistic too, as well, and he gets misunderstood all the time in school, and people, you know, don't always know what to make of him and things along those lines, and it frustrates my sister.
I know it does. I know, I know, because I see what the kids at times and stuff, different places I'm at with my wife, you know, where different environments where what I call it, where my people are at. You know, autism people, that's my people right there.
Right.
And I see them, I'm like, and I could tell, I'm like, oh yeah, he looks like he got a little spectrum-y. And then I can see sometimes the parent doesn't even really know how to interact with the child. And one time, oh my God, I was doing a show. This was in 2019 or something, like 2018. This is before I came back. I just was kind of dipping my toe in the waters, what have you.
Right.
And I did this show out in Brooklyn at the Lindenwood Diner, Ray DeJean spot. And I'm there, and I'm about to go on in a minute, and I could see there's a family there. There's a little girl with autism. And I could tell it's a little more severe, and she's having behaviors because she's overstimulated. There's too much going on. She doesn't need to be in that environment. She needs to go.
Right.
But the mom and the family are having fun, so they want to leave. And then she starts having a little bit of a meltdown, and then they're like yelling at her. Yo, that shit pissed me off so much. I wanted to go over there and punch this woman in her face so bad and take that little baby and just take it away from all of the sound so it can just relax. It bothered so much. I bombed like shit when I went up. I didn't even care. I was just mad. So I couldn't even really focus on the material when I was doing it. I wasn't going to be that good any fucking way, but at that time.
Right.
But that really, really, really upset me. So when I see those things, it just drives me more to want to be able to bring enlightenment, or more than just enlightenment, also enlightenment to the form of there are places where people can go with their kids with autism to feel good and have a good time. So for instance, like we go visit Zach every weekend, a couple of times a week. When I go get him, he loves riding around in the car. That's his favorite thing to do ever since he was little. So but I found a place, a diner where we can go to, where I took him in there, and it was, you know, the booth, the seating was kind of safe for him. It was kind of enclosed. He really enjoyed it. But more than that, they treated us with respect. They treat us with love. They know he has autism. It's fine. He can make all the noises he wants. Just want you guys to have a good time. And that meant so much to me. I remember I was tipping the guy $20 on $25 worth of food. Right. And he was such a nice dude. His name is Joe. He was like, bro, he's like, he's Czech. He's like, brother, you don't have to give. Like, I give because I love. And the love I see when I see you, there's so much love. He's like, it's beautiful. And I was like, you know, thank you, man. Like, and like, I see this dude. It's so funny. There's so many random guys and people I know that I'll say that we tell each other that we love each other. You know what I mean? He's like, I love him. We giving each other fucking hugs and shit. And this is great. And it's so great to know that I have a place where I can take Zach and he can just be himself and do his thing. And we can have fun as a family, because not a lot of places like that. A lot of people don't have that. So I would love to be an advocate to spread enlightenment to hopefully some businesses may want to open something where they can cater this whole new community. And the thing, if you don't know, you're going to know this community is getting bigger.
Yeah.
And if you don't think the vax, you know, all the things that occurred and the things that people had to ingest to be better the last few years aren't going to bring along a growth of that population, then you're mistaken. It's before it used to be 1 in 30, now it's like 1 in 10, or now it's going to be like 50-50.
Yeah, it's
where there's something there, you know, not necessarily on the far end of the spectrum, but there's going to be something there.
yeah, like you said, you know, they've been talking about vaccines long before this COVID vaccine. People were saying that the current vaccines that we've all, you know, given our kids when they're born or could have something to do with this, and
Could have.
and all the stuff like the peanut allergies, like all
Yes.
the things that we just started like they weren't around when we were younger.
No.
And then now we're seeing more and more of this.
Yep.
And you know, so it's something to think about and look at, and you know, they you know, like I said, there's always I guess a yin and yang to these type of things, but I'm always cautious now with any kind of vaccine.
100%. And that's one thing that my wife noticed after Zach got his vaccines. They noticed the change in him. And not saying, you know, not going to say that that was the direct cause, but they noticed the change. So
Yeah.
If to me, I'm like, if I don't have to, I'm not.
Right.
And especially like my sons, I got them wind up writing people and getting them what do you call that? Passes where they didn't have to get that while I was in school. But they was going to college, so
right.
Got some religious exemptions for them and stuff like that, so I didn't have to deal with that because that shit isn't 5 minutes. That's the rest of your life you're talking about.
And it's kind of been proved. It's already been proved that they don't work. We don't need them. And like, I don't understand what people still doing. That's just
for real. There's still people now online like, you need to get your bags. How did you not? You don't care about the people. And they were like it is like, you sick right now, motherfucker. What are you talking about? You don't care about yourself.
Yeah, exactly, man. The people who got these shots are the ones walking around with little weird ticks.
Yeah. Like Smokey and shit. Like,
like,
you don't hear that? You don't hear that? You don't hear that noise? Like, no, it's your crazy vaxxed ass.
Dude, that's another thing, man. The world's so crazy these days, and we need that's why we need comedy more than ever, because there's so many crazy stuff going on. You know, the world's crazy when they tell us there's aliens, space aliens, and nobody cares.
You know, they're like, yeah, great. What we doing with these fucking migrants over here? Like, I can't walk in the store and feel safe. It's like MS-13 is everywhere.
Yeah, man,
crazy,
dude. We're in some crazy times, my friend.
Yeah, we are, man. We're in these crazy times where a man is standing right in front of you, but tell you he's 30 other genres or whatever the fuck you call it instead of a man. I'm like, what the hell is going on? This all these pronouns and
we are
he, him, zer, they. Oh my god!
So, and if you get it wrong,
they will get mad.
Then you're the bad guy. Yeah, it's
every time they do that shit, I want to be like, all right, what am I? Like, oh, you're black. No, goddamn, I'm not a black man. Right. I'm from the Cayman Islands.
There was there was something on there was like a video of some woman was mad because what do they call us what do they call straight men, cis males, right? So they kept calling her cis female, and she said, I don't like being identified as a cis female, and they're like, well, that's what you are. But she's like, how about she's like, when do my pronouns matter?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like,
who are you to give me my pronoun? Like,
yeah,
what is that?
Like, I can't do that to you, but you could do that to me. You could assign me mine. So it's the whole world's upside down and hypocritical and just crazy.
Yeah.
And that's why we need comedians now more than ever at the forefront of this, because they're the ones that point out the bullshit. They got the bullshit radar, and you know, we're seeing it more and more. Comedians taking a stand. You know, Netflix has been huge with that.
Yes.
With the roast they just recently did, and they have Cat Williams out there, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle. Yeah. Shout out to Netflix,
Yeah,
keeping this comedy shit going.
Yeah,
and keeping comedy in the forefront. So I love that. That roast was hilarious too.
That roast was great. It was brutal, and it was like, to me, it was you know, letting the world know that their cancel culture is dead.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So y'all had a good run these last few years, but no more of that crazy shit. We about to bring bullying back. How about? No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna keep bending the knee for all this weird shit. Like, get out of here, man.
Yeah, and that was a pushback if ever. If
Mhm.
you know, if,
Yeah.
that and it was live.
Mhm.
You know, and Netflix, like you said, shout out to them for holding it down, not backing down to the mob. You know, back
Yes.
when
Yep.
Chappelle had his thing,
Yeah.
they tried to shut him down.
And it really had an angry mob out front of Netflix, like
Yeah.
chanting, like, burn it down, fuck him, take it off. And like, what?
And those
Then
are
the
the
fact that you have
employees.
that much, yes, yeah. He's like, get your ass back to
They end up, like, if you don't like it, leave. Like Netflix put their foot.
yeah, the fuck out of it. Go to Amazon Prime. They hiring.
Yeah. and serious
Go to
radio.
Tubi. Tubi's hiring. So let's take
Yeah,
your ass
go.
over there. There's only, honestly, I heard there's only 3 people that work at Tubi. Is that true?
It's just one dude. He's just loading in videos.
Tubi.
His name is Tubi.
He's going through his old Napster shit, finding stuff to put together. He's like, what?
Hi, everybody. I'm Tubi.
Yeah, Tubi at AOL.com.
Yeah.
You old irrelevant ass.
That's pretty great. But yeah, man. So we need more of that. And I think we're pushing back.
Yeah.
But like I said, comedy, comedians like you are making a difference and just making the world a better place. So kudos to you, my friend. And good luck in the New Jersey Comedy Festival. It's coming up.
Thank you so much.
Just tell everybody real quick where they could find you, follow you, and get your schedule and all that stuff.
Sure, you can follow me on Instagram at Ivory Fields Comedy. You can follow me on Facebook, Ivory C. Fields.
I know you got. There we go. Cheers, brother. You're a good dude.
Thank you, sir.
Good dude. Great comedian. You're gonna kick some ass and you know, keep the positive vibes going, man. Keep that good karma going and keep the laughs going, man. Because whatever you got going on, you're doing it right. So God bless you, bro.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother.
You got it. Ivory Fields, everybody. Check him out. He rocks.